look at this. China's chip industry depends on one key piece of equipment from ASML, and the US is now moving to ban it. So the US is really the government now, not the people, not myself. If I trust me, if I was president, I would have open trade, free trade. Um, this is screwing up everything in the US. It looks like, from the look of things, the government is trying to screw China in every way possible. Here's another example. China's chip industry depends on one key piece of equipment from ASML, which is they're like TSMC. It's a competitor. They make chips, they manufacture CPUs, processors. However, the US is going to ban a key ingredient for them to make these chips. So that's what I said. If you really look behind the scenes a little bit, not pretty. Not pretty at all. So with what's going on with this, US lawmakers are advancing the Match Act. It's a bipartisan bill aimed at banning the export and servicing of ASML's deep ultraviolet lithography equipment to China. This proposed ban targets key Chinese chip manufacturers like Huawei, like SMIC, like Hua Hong, as well as memory makers CXMT and YMTC, who are heavily reliant on deep ultraviolet lithography technology for their advancement manufacturing processes, including 7 nanometer chip class. The legislation seeks to modernize the U.S. export controls. They're seeking to have more control over the key ingredients that they need to make their chips. The U.S., I said we, not me, the U.S. is trying to prevent its adversaries from acquiring critical semiconductor manufacturing equipment they cannot replicate domestically. So they cannot just make this manufacture this chip making equipment themselves. Their key supplier is in the United States. Now, this is going to maintain a US technological lead, particularly in the AI department and chip manufacturing department. China's semiconductor industry, which has been striving to build domestic chip supply chains, but it really remains dependent on ASML in their deep ultraviolet lithography for higher end processes smaller than 28 nanometer nodes, and could face significant setbacks if a ban is enacted, and that train is moving forward very fast for it to be enacted. ASML, which delivers nearly 20% of its total revenue from deep ultraviolet lithography sales in China, would also face a substantial challenge in one of the largest markets due to the geopolitical restrictions that the US is looking to set forward. Bad news. Bad news. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news today, but I wanted to do this all in one show. I didn't want to talk anything else because that's how important this is. And look, this is going to affect Xiaomi directly. Xiaomi has started to make their own CPUs, like Apple, or design their own CPUs, like Apple makes their own designs their own CPUs. Google designs their own CPUs. Well, Xiaomi's doing the same thing. In fact, they had their first come out about 6 months ago, and this is going to jack it all up because Xiaomi depends on the deep ultraviolet lithography via ASML, and we are going to cut off their supplies. Now, I don't think. Look. This is just a personal opinion. Maybe everybody's different. I certainly don't think China warrants the. Oh, I'm gonna pass, but not good for the tech world. I'll just put it like that. It looks like the United States is trying to do anything and everything under the sun to screw China. Um, because, as you can see, they're looking to ban all their electronics, specifically phones, with the FCC ban, and with the RAM cost is just adding another issue to the topic, and that's not necessarily US imposed, but it kind of is, because the reason why the memory prices are going so high is because all the AI data centers are using all the memory. These AI data centers are enormous. Well, they got to store data somewhere. So what do you think they're doing? They're not storing data on paper towels. They're storing data on memory, physical memory. And what they're doing is they're buying up all the memory on the market and using it for these data centers. Well, that leaves me and you, that leaves companies like Xiaomi, companies like Oppo, companies even like Apple, shit out of luck when they need to buy memory for their upcoming phones that they're producing. And it leaves us shit out of luck for memory that maybe we have a new laptop that we want to upgrade our memory to, or maybe you bought a product here that you want to throw in the back of your phone. Well, guess what? This $30 product turns into a $200 product when you have to buy memory. See what I'm saying? So it affects everything. Even Ford, they have to have memory chips, right, for the operating system that's on their little Ford Sync or Mazda or Tesla, whatever. This affects almost everything. So you can see where that's going. Now, I'm gonna lead us into something else. Same topic, but this is really gonna piss off the government. I can already see where this is gonna go, and I tell you, it's not gonna be good for a United States company. Matter of fact, so this last article I got here, it's interesting though. It's very interesting. So check this out. Qualcomm is now reportedly developing custom DRAM for smartphones with China's CXMT. So we just got done talking about that new deep ultraviolet lithography from ASML in China, and how the US is cutting essentially stopping their supplier from getting them their essential needs, right? Oh, look what Qualcomm is doing. This is crazy. So the CXMT is a chip manufacturer. And what Qualcomm is doing, and if you didn't know, Qualcomm is actually technically, it's a US company. They're based in San Diego. They have their Qualcomm Developers Conference every year in Hawaii. But it's a United States company. The RAM costs have gotten so extremely insane that Qualcomm is like, you know what? Let's develop, and it's a really good idea. I mean, it almost leaves them with no other option with some of these companies that use RAM, that they need to go, because there is essentially no RAM to buy. And the RAM that there is to buy, it's skyrocketed in price. It almost makes it not even worth the company to produce the product, which is why these Chinese phone manufacturers are just going to stop making their flagship phones for the next 2 or 3 years. If you just joined us, we just discussed that maybe 10-15 minutes ago towards the beginning of the show. It's a real thing. They're going to Oppo, no more flagships. Xiaomi, no more flagships, like for the next 2 or 3 years. Crazy. But these insane times is what it will force companies like Qualcomm to just make their own RAM. Say, well, shit, I can't buy it. We'll go out of business buying this RAM because it just won't be profitable selling our product with these supply costs. So Qualcomm says, you know what? Let's go out and make our own RAM so we can continue with these profit margins. We can continue business as usual. This is not going to go well. I can almost guarantee you that the United States government will find out some way to axe this deal, to put a stop to this. They don't want any United States companies doing business with any Chinese companies. It's just how it is. And us, the end users, always get the short end of the stick. We always get screwed. But it could put huge American companies out of business. And that's the other side of the thing that I'm like, I don't like what are we doing? Like I don't. And of course it's all going to be under security. They could be spying on you. And look, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know, right? But to just axe and essentially square off the market, corner off the market, elbow some of these companies out of business, is that the best idea? Is it really?